Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, it says over the past 2 days, Bitcoin was trading between the range of 9,200 and 9,300. As we mentioned here on our previous Bitcoin price analysis, that area had transformed from being stronger support being even stronger resistance. We mentioned the fact that a failure in breaking above the mentioned area would result in a further drop down. As we noticed over yesterday, Bitcoin failed, broke down the crucial blue ascending trend line, as we can see on the following daily chart. The primary crypto dropped to our mentioned support, 8650, which was yesterday's low. If we look at the macro level, we can see the following triangle formation on the weekly charts, and the fact that Bitcoin failed to break the upper descending trend line above 10,000 US dollars as resistance, and the week's new candle is starting just below the lower descending trend line. In case this weekly candle does not improve upward, it would be very bearish signs for Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin broke down the crucial resistance turn support area at 8,800. This now becomes the first major resistance area, along with the $9,000 area as well. In case of a breakup, then the next significant resistance in the mentioned area will be above 92 to 9,300, which Bitcoin failed to break up during the last weekend. For those of you who are unaware, the cryptocurrency market has had yet another drop over the last 12 hours or so. For those of you who are not looking at the screen, it says these surprising factors suggest Bitcoin could dive further towards 8,000 US dollars. XRP in for another negative breakout as 200-day moving average resists upswing. This one says China orders second largest mining region to close. 9% of Bitcoin hash rate at risk. I'll get back to that in 1 second. The signal that preceded Bitcoin's drop to 3,000 in 2018 is about to flash again. And this one says Bitcoin analyst predicts further retracement after Bitcoin to the US dollar dips below $8,700. You may notice a pattern, and I told you to pay attention to this pattern about 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, because I started realizing that it was emerging as well. It pretty much goes on a Monday. We have news that Bitcoin has risen by $400. The price is looking extremely bullish as the week is going on, as the factors and the fundamentals are extremely strong for Bitcoin. We also get tons of news of the new people coming into the cryptocurrency space, the amount of new wallets that have been created, the amount of new this and new institutional money that is swinging rapidly into the space. Around Friday or Saturday, the price begins to fall down. And then what happens is by Sunday and Monday of the next week, we get news that Bitcoin is not looking too well, that it looks rather bearish. The candles and the triangles and the descending this are all pointing to this, and it's not looking too good for the price of Bitcoin. You might remember, and I noted just a couple of days ago as well, the other week, Bitcoin had just passed by its golden cross. This is a fairly common occurrence the last couple of months within the cryptocurrency space. I'm not exactly sure if it's simply a matter of hyper-coordinated movements to swing people in and out of the market to have prices go up. I mean, it is relatively a major incentive for whales to want to push the price down from 9,500 to 8,800 to 8,200 to whatever the number might have been fluctuating between over the last couple of weeks in an effort to make large amounts of money. Of course, this also then follows the other news for the other coins, which for some reason I always find, I guess the word would be funny. If Bitcoin is having a breakdown in price, it is only obvious that probably XRP, Ether, Tezos, Litecoin, and Cardano are probably also not going to fare too well, as Bitcoin is the magnet for the market. So me personally, I find articles like this quite funny. Because they tend to pop up in mass, especially is usually always about some negativity against XRP, Ethereum, and I think the other coins aren't as popular yet for them to have gained this much negative attention when it comes to articles. A lot of news is also popping up as well about things happening within China. It ranges anywhere from speculatively that the government is either buying up huge amounts of land to help open or facilitate the opening of a new cryptocurrency mining platform, something, or the government hates it and the government is turning off energy, or the government's doing this and the government's allowing this, or this is now legal and it wasn't legal before. I'm pretty sure you also noticed this flip-flop as well. These are very weird patterns that I'm consistently picking up on within crypto. Maybe it's just even crypto news. I don't know if it's just an actual mental trend that seems to be flowing through the system, the network, the minds of people who are within the cryptocurrency space. Maybe it's simply something that's happening with the traders. I would not be surprised if any type of negative news that we get every other week is simply meant to push people out of the market. I mentioned that before a long time ago. If this is too much for you, I mean, it is totally understandable if you just kind of take a break, because crypto can be very taxing on a lot of people, especially when the market doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, where we currently stand right now, cryptocurrency prices are dipping. It's not clear if they are going to continue to dip, because once again, nobody knows the future as much as people might claim, or other cryptocurrency channels might be out there telling you that they know exactly what's going to happen. Right. So it looks like no one knows. Once again, we could have a breakdown to 8,200. We could even see a Bitcoin price of 7,500. Simply because that's how the market currently is. And without further ado, let's move on. So, for those of you not looking at the screen, I think it's time for me to share something with you that's also been happening. The amount of trends in the cryptocurrency space have become far too obvious for me to ignore anymore. The title says, Market Analyst says, this little known cryptocurrency will soar by 700% in just 2 years. Former hedge fund manager Tika Tiwari says he believes a small cap cryptocurrency is poised to print major gains over the next 24 months. Tiwari's 2020 Phenomenon Playbook lists the coin known as Crypterium. That is Crypterium. Yep, it sounds ridiculous as it's spelled. As the number one coin with the potential for immense growth. This was reported by the IB Times. The Wall Street veteran says it could skyrocket by 700% in the next 2 years, based on the forecasted volume of payments that would go through the Crypterium network. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have actually clicked this video exclusively because of what was in the title. I'm pretty sure a lot of people may have clicked away, may be very angry, may simply not understand exactly what I'm doing. There are an enormous amount of articles like this floating around the cryptocurrency space right now. The cryptocurrency market, regardless of if prices are dipping a tiny bit, we are still in a very strong upswing, in what some would even still continue to call a bull market, as we dropped to 3,000 something and have been swinging between the high 8,000s and the very low 10,000s as well. So I only say this to make sure that you pay attention to where your money is going. A lot of people don't seem to understand, and I assume maybe it's because I am maybe to you coming from an authoritative stand. Maybe you feel like I'm standing over you and I'm pointing at you and saying, no, don't do this. This is all lining up once again to be 2017. The same exact dips that we saw in 2017. For those of you who've never looked at a chart of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space in 2017, I implore you to do so. The beginning of the year, we were very low. By around spring, we reached enormous prices. It was very interesting time in the cryptocurrency space. Around summertime, we saw a dip. By the time summer was over, markets continued to go back up with a vengeance, and I assume this is currently what's taking place right now. We had a lot of news before that the market was going to push Bitcoin above 10,000 plus 15,000 now, around this general time frame. I think it will probably take a little bit longer if the trend from 2017 holds true. I assume the next couple of weeks are going to be a drive up, heavier down kind of movement where people will claim that they have lost faith within the cryptocurrency space. And or we're going to start seeing articles again from Bloomberg and Forbes and many other places who have only had very nice things to say about the cryptocurrency market over the last couple of months. I assume they will shift negatively to saying, could Bitcoin die? Is Bitcoin over? Because that's how the trend takes place. The other thing that's been going on is the word egregious amount of articles I'm seeing discussing new coins that you've never heard of, which are telling you that they may potentially in the future at some point explode in price, and therefore you should be putting your money into it. If you go to this actual website right here, Tawari's 2020 Phenomenon Playbook consists of 5 cryptocurrencies that present high growth potential. The issue is that anything can present high growth potential. We've gone over that before. While Bitcoin is the #1 coin, there are of course many altcoins that could and usually do percentage-wise better than Bitcoin. However, just because you keep, I can't stress this enough. It's everywhere now. These articles and the new returning YouTube channels telling you to throw your money into the market. The 5 coins that he lists as the potential big winners are Ethereum, 0x, Crypto.com, Status Network Token, and Solve.care. I have been in the cryptocurrency space for a very long time. Please do not fall for hype. Please do not put your money into a coin simply because an article is telling you that one person said that these things could potentially be big winners in the future. Odds are, as it stands right now, and all the news that we've been going over and all the institutions who are within the space, they are focusing on very few cryptocurrencies. You know which cryptocurrencies these are. Don't fall into hype simply because you're trying to outpace the market and or make tons of money quicker and faster than everyone else. What happens is, a lot of times in the past, these coins pump heavily, and then before you realize it, they've slammed even lower than they were before. And a lot of people who've been putting out news and analytics and so, who gave you the information before, will then have a new set of 5 coins that they tell you to buy. These coins usually enrich them in some sort of way. That's how it works. One can only assume that someone who is telling you, allegedly, that something is going to go up by 700% is probably in that market themselves. That's how it typically works. So, just I want to say sobering moment. Just really pay attention. This is 2017 all over again. So many people are going to get burned, and it's going to get really, really bad very fast. There are a couple of BitConnect-like channels that are already floating around out there that are promoting things that you have no need to be in, but that's how the market works. Anyway, like I said, I assumed I got a couple of clicks just because of the title, and people were looking for this new coin. That's not how money works. If you've never been into finance before, if you've never been into stocks and bonds, real estate, it doesn't matter what, anything financial, there is no magic answer. There is no magic pill. There isn't something that's going to make you rich overnight. I'm sorry to burst your bubble for all the people who are in it as a get-rich-quick scheme. The entire point of Bitcoin and the beginnings of the cryptocurrency space were a takeover of fiat to get away from the former and go into the newer. We have a system right now that has the capabilities of being able to replace other currencies and or become a reserve currency itself to allow people to transact in money when they want, how they want. A lot of these other coins are not going to make it ever. I wish I once again had compiled a list, but I mean, foresight and all that kind of stuff. Just of all the coins that I've heard over the last 3 to 4 years, none of these coins exist anymore. And these coins that we keep hearing about, that you keep hearing about, that you should put your money into, will not be here in a couple of years. Anyway, once again, just a heads up. And without further ado, let's move on. Also in the news, once again, best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki is putting all of his hopes and dreams into Bitcoin in a recent series of tweets, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, announced that the release of trillions back into the economy, also known as the recent stimulus package, designed to help against 19, was a huge mistake. He explained that the dollar is on the verge of dying out, and he's advising everyone to put their money into assets like gold, silver, and of course, Bitcoin. One tweet said, "Death of dollar. People desperate for money. It's sad. If government gives you free money, take it. Yet spend it wisely. Do not save. Buy gold, silver, Bitcoin. Dollar is dying. Silver, $20. Best buy for future security. Everyone can afford $20, especially with free fake money." First of all, if you get that money, make sure you pay your rent and you feed yourself first before you buy Bitcoin, gold, silver, diamonds, palladium, rocks. I don't care what you do. Make sure your bills are paid, because logically this guy lives on another planet than other people do, because he is already extremely rich. So it's easy to tell people when you get your free money, buy assets with it. If you have bills to pay and need to feed your family, do that first. A lot of very prominent people have been popping up the last couple of weeks. Robert Kiyosaki is now, I guess, a very famed name within the cryptocurrency space. It was normally Pompliano and a couple of other people would consistently pop up in the news, but Mr. Kiyosaki has seemingly put all of his weight behind Bitcoin and is now telling other people to do so as well. Yeah, I mean, that's the news for that. This was everywhere. I guess it's because he is famed and super well known. Yeah. This was all over the place that he had once again tweeted out about buying Bitcoin. But I guess that's how a lot of the market works. If you get people hyped up about Bitcoin, or if you have a rich person talk about Bitcoin, like remember last year? Oh my gosh, what was it? There was a tweet or an Insta something from Kim Kardashian, and she said it was her and Kanye or something like that, and it says we've moved on now, like we buy or we own Bitcoin, and that entire week people were waiting for a market jump from the tweet from Kim Kardashian, and it's like, so celebrities are now into crypto as well. I told you this was going to happen. You have to understand that probably a lot of these people, a lot of the rich people, I'm telling you, when you find out in 2017, 2018, that the Rockefellers are also owning huge amounts of Bitcoin, all these people know each other. So of course they probably all have sat down, had dinners. What's the newest investment? I think you should put $1 million into Bitcoin. Sure, let's do it tomorrow. It also adds to the scarcity of Bitcoin, but that's just more logic than anything. I mean, anything. Anyway, that's that news for today. And let's move on. Also in news as well, cryptocurrency traders continue to move their Bitcoin off of exchanges to private wallets at historic levels. New data from Glassnodes shows Bitcoin balances on leading cryptocurrency exchanges are witnessing the sharpest drop in history. Analysts at the data analytics firm say the downtrend began in late March as Bitcoin began to recover from a major crash that was not due to 19, it was due to whales. They said the number of Bitcoin on exchanges has been steadily decreasing since the crash in March and is now approaching a 1-year low. This is the largest and most prolonged Bitcoin exchange balance downtrend in Bitcoin's history. That is a bit intense. If you look at the actual drop right here, this is the balance of Bitcoin on different crypto exchanges. It's a little intense. Glassnodes speculates that several factors may be behind the mass movement of Bitcoin. Investors may be choosing to hold on for the long term and shifting their assets to cold storage, or deciding it's best to hold their assets directly instead of relying on exchanges to do it for them. This is about the 5th time that we've had news like this. I assume it has to do with the downtrend. That makes a bit more sense. This roughly around the time frame since we started getting this news. I wonder what the actual reason for it is. I have a friend of mine, I know he doesn't listen to the channel. He recently was inquiring as to how to acquire Bitcoin. And I showed him the way and stuff like that. And he said that he had, and I was very shocked that he had done some type of research. He said he had heard himself that it would be better to buy a ledger, or it would be better to have your cryptocurrency on a cold wallet or on a computer. And I thought it was fascinating that he hadn't even jumped into the cryptocurrency space yet, but he knew the idea of self-custody. So that was also kind of fascinating to see as well. Who knows if this will continue? I thought in the beginning a lot of it had to do with the what's it called? Not your keys, not your coins, or not your coins, not your keys, or something Judgment Day, whatever the word is. I can't remember what the phrase is for people who do all that stuff. I assumed it was that, but it could possibly be something else. Realistically, once again, if you were a larger entity or at some point you maybe got into or were able to acquire 100 Bitcoin, 800 Bitcoin, and it's been sitting on a cryptocurrency exchange, maybe reality just smacks you in the face and you go, maybe it shouldn't just be sitting on Binance because, you know, logic. So who knows what it is, but I mean, as long as the crypto is safe and people are paying attention to where they keep it, it's all good and dandy, as long as your coins are safe. Yeah, I assume we'll see more of this news, especially if we end up breaking down below this actual trend, because as the price goes up, more crypto leaves the exchanges, which I think is actually a very smart idea, because logic. Let's move on. Next up, the Central Bank of France carried out a successful trial of a digital euro transaction on the blockchain, in a process that could result in the launch of a central bank digital currency. Société Générale and the Central Bank of France ran a digital currency transaction. The bank made a transaction of 40 million euros worth of bonds issued as security tokens for digital euros. The central bank said the test transaction shows the feasibility of using blockchain technology for digital settlements at this scale. This trial was performed end-to-end using blockchain technology, shows the feasibility of financial securities being digitally settled and delivered, and central bank digital currency for interbank settlements, the central bank said. Wonderful. A spokesperson for Société Générale said the experiment would help inform the central bank, along with other central banks worldwide, to develop central bank digital currencies. The spokesperson said that the results of these experiments would be a vital element of the Banque de France's contribution to the more global reflection led by the Eurosystem on central bank digital currencies. This digital euro trial is one of the largest so far to take place in the Eurozone. I believe it was France. I'm not sure if it was Germany. There was one other country, I can't remember where, they were within the Eurozone, who had announced their support for a digital euro a couple of months ago. I assume this test is being done to show the success, the strength of not Bitcoin, but of blockchain in general as a way to digitize payments even further than they already currently are. Yeah, this is the actual announcement, if you will, on their website. It just seems logical that at some point there would have been a bank within Europe that would have done something like this. It just happened to be the French central bank, that did it themselves. Yeah, we all know that central bank digital currencies are well on their way. It only makes sense as well that with all the things happening in the world right now, that this is clearly an opportune time to take advantage of the current situation and to digitize things even further. But this is the other, remember I mentioned a while ago, like the 4-step plan. This is the step 3 that we are currently in. And it is the creation of other things to try and get people away from the idea of a decentralized cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. A lot of banks think that the idea is that people simply want digital transactions, not realizing that people want control of their own money. So money everywhere will be digitized, and governments will simply say, here's what you wanted, take this. And then eventually we realize during the next financial crash, not this one, whenever the next one might be, and money becomes constrained and interest rates lower. And because you have a digital bank account, they can take whatever they want from your account and they can freeze your account. There's some type of, the point is, you understand exactly what I'm talking about and where I'm going. It's just how things will be. However, there will only be one clear winner at the end of all of this, and only time will tell who it will be. Once again, here's the actual blog post, if you will, by the bank. And without further ado, let's move on. And to finish things off, Albania's parliament signed a law, or a bill into law, on the 21st of May, plenary session, a legal framework for cryptocurrencies. That was a weird sentence. The law, called On Financial Markets, based on the technology of distributed ledgers, blockchains, first appeared before the Committee of Economy in October 2019 and was approved today with 88 votes in favor, 16 against, and 3 abstentions. Introduced by Albania's Minister of Finance and Economy, the legislation looks to regulate the conditions for licensing all crypto activities in the country. Beyond digital tokens, the law looks to monitor all infrastructure where DLT technology operates. Dinaj commented on the proposal that will ultimately be voted on in Parliament. They said the draft law, aims to regulate the conditions for licensing, exercising the activity of operators and stock exchanges, and supervising them, of course, as well as preventing abusive practices in the market. Sure. Where severe fines are stipulated for anyone who violates the provisions of the law, except for the most rich. Sure, why not? This is yet another country that has approved, semi-approved, written, is in the course of approving or pushing through their cryptocurrency laws, as it were. I think nearly every major, air quotes, country on the planet has already released some type of a cryptocurrency, or rather like an extensive blockchain-based cryptocurrency security commodity law type thing, except for one, which I told you 2 years ago was probably going to take them a very long time. I still give them another 5 years. I don't assume that's going to happen anytime soon just because of life. Anyway, so I dare not even say good job, Albania, because it's pretty much a lot of these laws just simply put crypto under the exact same purview as other financial markets, not realizing that they are extremely different. But because it has a dollar value, therefore they get clumped together. But it does allow, in its own nice way, the legality of cryptocurrencies, which will allow people to actually enter the market. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Crayola Michelle URL, On Crypto with Lionel, Tigara Machonisa, Bake Me a Cake, Arfmedic17, Anytime Fitness Monks Corner Staff, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich III, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Damian, Nicholas for North One Peace One Love, Crypto Artist Coldy 3D, Adobo, Bankroll Network, Crypto Joe 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moham Marodi, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Nostromo, Chongololo Zongololo, Martin Stoyer, Joshua Vineyard, The Pothead, Moonman High XRP, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Oscar Maldonado, and Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, Bitcoin and the rest of the wider cryptocurrency market are in the red. Bitcoin is currently down by 4.5%. It is currently at $8,854 US at the time of me making this video. Ethereum is still holding above the $200 price range. Tether is still the third largest coin because massive amounts of there's now a market cap of $9 billion. That means essentially there are 9 billion Tether floating around out there, which is absolutely insane to think about. Yeah, everything is in the red. I think there are some anomalies, like Leo token is. I think Leo is meant to be once again a stable coin. So there's that. Yeah, nothing too insane except for other coins that kind of move on their own. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this video. I expect the next while will be similar as far as prices, but I mean, we never really know. We've had indications before, or downtrends, where sometime later on in the week, the prices of the cryptocurrency market had skyrocketed, or some days where Bitcoin goes up by 12. We can never actually tell. This is why, for me, personally, I look for the long-term charts. A lot of these smaller movements don't really matter to me, except for when they're completely nonsensical and I go on a rant because the cryptocurrency, for those of you who are really unaware, the cryptocurrency market just makes no sense. like none, zero. There's no actual logic to it. I think logic will form only when prices have gotten a lot higher. But then it also is in a situation where normal people can't get into the market. But that's how money works. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I hope you have a great week as well, as it is, I believe, Monday. I never know. Yep, Monday? Is it Monday? I have no idea. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.